This podcast is brought to you by Infinite Resources, a local staffing agency connecting diverse job candidates in central Iowa companies.
Amplified.
Welcome back to Black and Privileged in America podcast, power, love, and money conversations relevant to Black people. I'm your host, Abena Sankofa. Today, we're going to be talking with a man who is on a mission to support Black families. His name is Lance Williams, and I'm looking forward to introducing you to him. But before we introduce Lance and bring him on, I want to give you some statistics about Black families that you may not know. Did you know, according to blackdemographics.com, that 42% of Black children live with two parents? Did you know that? Because contrary to popular belief, it might seem like all Black people come from a single family home or some type of quote unquote, quote, broken home. 38% of Black children live with parents who are currently married. Did you know that? So with those statistics in mind, I'd like to welcome to the show, Lance Williams. Welcome, Lance.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you're here. You're doing such important work in our community, and I was excited at the possibility of talking to you. You are the founder and president of Dads on a Mission, founder and president of Dads on a Mission. And you brought me a t-shirt. Yay. We love presents around here. Dads on a Mission. Can you talk a little bit about what Dads on a Mission is and what you, why you started the organization?
Well, Dads on a Mission is an organization of men that and women too, because we could use women as well. You know what I'm saying? Every great nation was supported by a woman. So
that's true.
Yes. Oh, I know. I mean, look at Adam and Eve.
Yeah.
You know, so even God knew he couldn't do it without a woman. So
now you preaching. See, look, you're already getting started. We're not even on 5 minutes. You're telling the truth, okay? So yeah, tell us about what the organization is and why you started it.
The organization is basically a group of men and women, like I said, that's coming together, you know what I'm saying, to restructure the problems in life that happen with our youth as well as the men, you know what I'm saying? I was very surprised to see your statistics, actually, that you announced at the beginning of the show. I thought it was going to be much lower, but you know what I'm saying? I'm proud of that. I'm proud.
Well, thank you for that. I think it deserves to be spoken that the narrative that we hear around Black families is not true to fact. I mean, there are instances in every community where there may not be two parents in a home, or there may be a situation where parents aren't married. But by and large, the numbers do not agree with the narrative that we have circulating in our country, in our state, in our local communities about Black families. So what does Dads on a Mission hope to accomplish for Black families? Give us some specifics.
We want to bring those numbers higher. You know what I'm saying? We want to stop the division. There's a division that I see bluntly. I started the organization after the East High shooting that happened a couple years ago.
Okay, yeah. So for our listeners who may not be in the local area, the East High shooting East High School is a high school on the east side of Des Moines.
It's one of the largest high schools in Des Moines, Iowa. I think only surpassed by Lincoln, maybe. I think.
Indeed.
But my kids was going to. One of them graduated, by the way, since then.
Yay,
but
that's awesome.
Yes, definitely. I love that. But at that shooting, my kids came home. They was very scared, very nervous, you know what I'm saying? And they was like, Dad, you got to do something. Yeah. And I'm sitting here like, well, I'm doing something with y'all. And it was like, but what about my friends? What about, I knew one of the girls that got shot. I knew about that. It was really close to home. And that's when I realized I can't just be a dad to my kids. I have to be a dad to everybody's kids.
Okay, hold on, wait a minute. Let's pause right here because you just said something so profound that you can't just be a dad to your own children, that you have to be a dad to everyone.
Correct. Because my kids, I remember in sociology they taught us there was 5 peer groups. The first peer group is your parents. But after that, there's another peer group that comes your peers that surpasses your parents. You start to learn to listen to your peers more than you will your parents. You're around your peers. So therefore, if I'm a parent to their peers and they're getting in trouble, it's going to lessen the chances of my kids getting in trouble and reaching them into areas of life that I can't reach. My voice can't travel to them in.
That's so interesting. I want to go back to my childhood. Like, it's making me reflect on the fact that I was one of those kids who grew up in a family with two parents. My parents they were together. They were married in my youth. And my dad was one of 2 or 3 dads in the household on my block. And he and Mr. Greenfield, and I think it was Mr. Smith, they were the community dads. Like, legit, they took care of all the kids. They made sure lawns were mowed. All the ladies in the neighborhood had their lawns mowed in the front yards. And then all of the kids who played with my brothers and me, and we all socialized together. My dad and Mr. Smith and Mr. Greenfield kind of took everyone under their wings. So I totally understand what you're saying about being a community dad. What does that mean? Since you've taken on the role, and aside from dads on a mission, since you've taken on the role of community dad to your children's friends and kids in the neighborhood, what has that meant to them? What has that meant to their families? What are you hearing from them? And what does it mean to you?
It means a lot to me. I mean, I have a young man that I take home every day. It's so funny. I go to pick my kids up, and he's right there waiting. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, Lance. You go pick your kids up. I want people to hear this, because the narrative is that black dads are not around. That all of y'all are locked up. Everybody got issues and all. And while there may be some truth in that, you are telling me you go pick your kids up.
Go ask the principal at East High. They all know me. They
Come
all
on
know
now.
me.
Yes.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm involved in a lot of things. Ask the coaches. I'm at almost every wrestling meet. I just went to a wrestling meet last night. You know what I'm saying? I'm at every football game. Matter of fact, I think one of the football coaches told me, like, we need you down here, coach. They're trying to give me new roles. But
Coach Dad. I love it. Okay, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that just speaks. I want to dispel these narratives. So what are you hearing from that child that you went and picked up your kids, and then what?
For one, he calls me Unc. Every time he sees me, he's like, hey, Unc, I love you. When we was at the wrestling meet, he's like, Unc, can I get something to drink? And I was like, he was just so, at first he was waiting for me to say, no, I don't got it. And then I'm like, bro, pick your flavor.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh, thank you, man, woo, woo. It just means so much. It brightens up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe in a bad child. I just believe in a child that lost hope. You know what I'm saying? So when you return that hope, you'll be surprised what these kids will do. They'll surprise you. They'll really surprise you. You'll be like, man, I didn't know you knew this. And it's just, you have to invest.
Investing in the kids. I think there's something that happens when kids, young people, see that someone from another generation cares about them. What it does to see someone looking like you that's older, that really takes a genuine interest and does invest in you, whether that's time, talent, treasure, emotion, care, asking how your day was, all of those things. So are you hearing from the families of these young people how they're impacted by your involvement, your investment, the fact that you care?
I hear gratitude. I definitely do when I bring some of the kids homes, and I don't just drop them off. I go up to the door, knock. Hey, I'm Lance Williams from Dad's on a Mission. You know what I'm saying? I seen your kid, needed a ride home. You know what I'm saying? Because for one, I was taught you never leave a kid. Like, I want to speak on this.
Yeah.
At a lot of these events, you know what I'm saying, we watch them go play football. Some of these kids don't got rides home.
Wow.
Some of these parents, and I don't blame the parents, because some of them are working, some of them are single families. Some of them come from double families, but they're both working, trying to make ends meet.
Trying to make ends meet. Dad's working, mama's got a different shift. They're trying to hold it down at home.
Exactly. And like, when I started bringing kids home I would leave, and my kids would be like, man, such and such don't have a ride, man. He got to walk all the way to the south side.
Wow.
And I'm just like, no, he don't. No, he don't. Because if something happens to that child on the way home, not only is the parents going to feel bad, but I'm going to feel bad, because I was right there. There's too many times things happen. You're like, I just seen him. Well, you should have took him home.
Wow. Okay, listen. That's deep. And that's important. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's this thing now, too, where, some parents and adults might say, well, they could be accused of something, and so that might be their reason why they won't step in. What do you say to that?
I do understand that, but that's just a risk I got to take. That's just a risk I got to take. I know my heart. I know who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Plus, I got my other kids in the car with me. You know what I'm saying? Them are my alibis. You know what I'm saying? And if you're doing it out of good nature and you're a good person, the kid's not going to do that. They're going to be more thankful.
Yeah, I agree. I think if we see a person, just in general, if you see a person in need and you're able to do something, do it. Especially we're in Iowa, okay, where winter is upon us, it's coming. I mean, we've got this nice unseasonal weather right now, but in a couple of weeks, a month or so, it might be 15 below and snowing, and a child standing outside with no ride home is unacceptable.
It's unacceptable.
That's unacceptable. Okay. So we're here today with Lance Williams, founder and president of Dads on a Mission. So glad that you're in the house. I want to read another statistic, Lance. According to the CDC, 58% of Black fathers live with one or more of their children, and even a larger majority at 72.7% of Black fathers talk with their children about things that happen during the day, several times a week or more, whether they live with their children or not.
I love it. I love it, man. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to be so
No, do it. Do you?
I love it because first of all, I have a group of Black men. Shout out to Akeem Holmes. Shout out to Will Keeps. Shout out to just so many, John Martin Sr., that are invested. We talk all the time. Matter of fact, when we had the men's breakfasts. Man, I had men, we sat down and had beautiful conversations.
So the men's breakfast, that's a program of Dads on a Mission, or was this previous?
It was a previous program
okay.
for almost about 11 months straight. Every, the last Friday, it was the last Saturday of every month, young men, older men, just men in general, we got together and we talked about topics that was about our community, things that were hard to talk about amongst ourselves.
Those difficult conversations.
Oh,
and that was a men's. Okay, this is profound. You're talking about men coming together, convening, sitting in community with one another, talking about the hard stuff.
Yes, and the good things. We had some good laughs up in there.
Well, I want to know about the hard stuff, though. The good things, yeah, we know when brothers get together, there will be some laughter. There will be, jovial moments and things like that. But what were some of those hard topics that you all embarked upon?
I don't want to invade too much.
No, without revealing too much. But I think it's important for the greater community to know that Black men are having these conversations. So without giving too much detail or without disclosing of who said what were some of the topics that came up?
Some of the topics were sharing our feelings.
Whoa.
What forums was appropriate to do it and when not to.
Because they say Black men don't cry.
Yeah, and then that was really one of our most profound topics that we talked about. Like, is it okay to cry? Who can you cry around? And it's a hard thing because, like you said, I was raised like my father. I remember the first time I cried, and my father was like, "Man, you need to man up, man." You know what I'm saying? People are watching you.
Yeah.
And it's like that, and like I shared it with the men myself, and my sons were there, and I said, "Look, my sons know they can cry to me. I cried to them when I was suffering from." Well, still am, but when I was suffering from kidney failure, I cried. And I admit that on air. I cried. It hurt me that I may have to leave my children in the hands of somebody else. And it's okay. Because statistics, we have to realize Black people suffer from high blood pressure.
Yeah.
We suffer from heart disease. That comes from holding that negative energy in. We have to let that go, and we have to have people around us that we feel comfortable enough to do that with. And to me, it don't make you less than a man. It makes you more of a human.
Wow. It's okay to cry. It's okay to feel. It's okay to be emotional.
I say this with tears in my eyes right now.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you, Lance, because I think what you're doing here is not only making a declaration that these things are not just okay, but they're human. It's normal human. It's a normal human endeavor to feel, but that the fact that you're not only talking about it, but demonstrating, it gives permission for other brothers to be like, okay, I can be a human. I can be my whole self.
Please. We need it. That our kids need to see us cry. Our kids need to see us that. Because just look at the fighting in the schools. A lot of that comes from not being able to express themselves. So they've expressed it in the only way that they feel is in America socially acceptable, and that's violence.
You just said in America, violence is socially acceptable, and that's an unfortunate truth.
It's unfortunate. I mean, just look at Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look at YouTube. As they watch your podcast, after that, you're going to see about 17 other things that are violent. And it's sad. We see more violence than positive.
What is Dads on a Mission hoping to accomplish in terms of violence? Are you interested in combating violence? Like, what is let me ask this differently. What is the biggest challenge that you're facing in your organization, Dads on a Mission?
The biggest challenge. Okay, that's a different answer than the first one the way you asked it.
Yeah.
Getting men involved. Just getting men to jump on board. And I don't blame men because I understand like I said, there's challenges that I work and provide because our first job is provider. You know what I'm saying? Woman's job is to nurture, and just like with God provides us things, we nurture the earth.
Now, I'm going to just interject here and say that while I understand what you're saying, there will be some out there who are like, you know, don't lock me into a gender role just because I'm a woman. Don't lock me in the house, or just because I'm a man, don't lock me in at work. So, you know, how do you respond to those who might bring up the fact that gender roles have less to do with the functioning well of a family?
Well, if that's the argument, then where are you at?
Oh, drops mic for real. I got you.
Where are you at? I mean, I respect it, but I'm not trying to lock you in a role. I'm trying to lock you in with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to lock you in with. I don't want to, you know, so I take a gay man, I take a homosexual woman, whatever, because I have some kids that are homosexual. I have some kids, you know what I'm saying, that are lesbians and gay. I don't care. I just need you to show up.
Show up for the kids.
Just show up, because I can't be the only one there. It's disappointing, not just to me, but to them. Because now I have to answer questions of like, well, why ain't nobody else here?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't nobody else care? That's a hard question for me to answer. It makes my job more difficult. I need help.
So you're pleading right now for volunteers.
Please go to Dads on. I have a whole website that I've created with my own money.
It's on your T-shirt?
Exactly. www.dadsonthemission.com. I mean .org.
Yeah.
Yep, your organization.
So www.dadsonthemission.org, and people can go there.
They can go there. You can sign up to volunteer. You can donate. You could buy the T-shirt that we gifted to you today.
Thank you.
That helps with programs. That helps with dads that may need help, or mothers that may need help, kids that may need help with paying. Like, we have kids graduating that still owe what they call book fees and stuff like that. That helps with that. We can help people.
So you're really making a tangible impact on the lives of young people.
I got to.
I think we all. That's part of our mission in life as human beings is to help one another. And I love the fact that Dads on a Mission is saying there are literal things that we can do to make a difference that don't break the bank for us, that don't cost a lot of money, that don't take a lot of time. It really doesn't take a lot of time to volunteer and show up.
And I ain't saying you got to do everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you can't volunteer your time, invest.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I can't come to your meetings. I can't come watch the kids do this or do that. But here goes $25. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that'll help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe you could buy pizza for the kids when you go. Thank you.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Or maybe I don't got it. Hey, I'm struggling at the home. Well, what's a Saturday going? Like we planted trees at Evelyn K. Davis Park. We did it at Chesterfield Park. We do a volunteer effort in our program with the kids and the dads.
Okay, I love nature, so it warms my heart to hear you say that you all planted trees. That's amazing.
Yeah, we partner with the Des Moines Park and Rec. Shout out to them and their organization. Shout out to Trees Forever, which they also have a program too, helping kids get into that type of work as well and everything. You can reach out to their organization or on our website and get more information about that. But definitely, just like I told the kids when they was pruning the trees and cutting the roots out and everything, I'm like, look, you're going to be able to come by here when I'm dead and gone with your kids and be like, I planted that tree. That's something powerful. Like, hey, in my community where I live that I'm a part of, I cause impact to make things greater.
And I think that's something you could say right now to your children. And you know that for you, that not only are you teaching these kids to plant trees, but you are planting seeds. And now you're going to be able to watch those seeds be watered and grow. I think that's amazing.
And yeah, I mean, you can see pictures on our website as well. Go check that website.
So this website is golden.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Like they got pictures of the kids out there doing it, pictures with the workers and everything, and taking their time and not just planting the trees, but teaching the kids how to do it on their own.
Yeah. That's amazing. Thank you, Lance. Listen, what's going to happen next year? What do you have moving forward? Some programs, initiatives, opportunities that are coming down in 2024?
I'm glad you asked. We're working on something right now. I'm working with 5 different organizations.
Wow. Okay. Look at this coalition building.
We're trying right now. Actually, I think it's called the collective that we're trying to build. We all different nonprofits, but we're coming together. I think how you pronounce it?
My organization?
Yeah.
Sankofa Literary and Empowerment Group.
Yes, I think we're trying to team up with y'all.
Yeah, although we're not a nonprofit, we do have tentacles all over the community, so absolutely we're willing to help.
Yep. What's the other one? I know Hip Hope was one of them. It's 5 different ones.
Sure.
Team Strong was an organization too, not just a nonprofit, but they're for profit. What was the other one? I can't think off the top of my head.
It's all right.
Now. I'm sorry. But be on the lookout for us. We're starting this thing called Breaking Bread with the Fam.
Breaking Bread with the Fam.
Yes,
Love
yes. It's a continuation of the men's breakfasts, but I came with the idea because my daughters wanted to come.
Yeah.
And I'm like, baby, this is for the men. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I'm gonna be on the side of the ladies, and I think Breaking Bread with the Fam is an excellent idea because there's an old African proverb that says, if you teach a man, you teach a family. But if you teach a woman, you teach a nation.
Yes, you do.
So come on, little sis. Yes.
Yeah, and so she was the inspiration.
Yeah.
She was, because I was like, man, these girls are fighting more than the boys in the school. These women are struggling hard. They've been the backbone of, like, to be honest with you, every nonprofit thing I go to, I see way more women than I see men.
Yeah.
We need to step that up for one. You know what I'm saying? And then I look at the division in the home, and I'm like, man, we can't just have our own. Okay, we started out with us, but we need to include the women. We got to. We got to find out how to mend that division, how to mend that, to bring that back together. And so at the beginning of the year, we're working right now and everything, but at the beginning of the year, we plan to have the first Breaking Bread with the Fam in January. And I like to invite everybody out, bring the family, bring everybody. We have literacy, we have counseling, we have life coaches, we have mentors, we have people from all positive walks of life that are coming together to make this happen, to give information and resources and things that we can use to build.
How often is that going to be?
It's going to be once a month.
A month?
Just like the men's breakfasts were.
Okay.
Once a month, leaning towards the end and everything. But I just want us all to have those difficult conversations. I want us all to laugh, to cry, and then to figure out how to go forward.
I think that's the key, because I mean we are becoming really good at having difficult conversations. I mean it's amazing that during the men's breakfast in the past, when you all did that, you would embark on those hard conversations, and that can be really tough for men. I think as a community of people, we are used to having those hard conversations, But the key thing you said was figuring out what next, where to go from here. So I look forward to breaking bread with the fam. I think we can find out more information about that. Go on the website.
Yes. It's not up right now, but it's coming. The thing is, we want to prepare before we put it out.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? I get personally tired of hearing people say, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. And it's like, we're waiting. No, when I come to you and tell you it's coming, it's coming. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's been prepared. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So you're in preparation mode now.
Yes.
But we need to keep our eyes on that website to make sure that we are up on it and that we're there. I would like to personally encourage all of you that are listening or watching to stay locked into dadsonamission.org. Volunteer for the many endeavors and initiatives that Lance and his team are putting out there. There's many opportunities for us to jump in there and make a difference in the lives of young people. And then, there's breaking bread with the fam. I can't wait to be a part of that. I mean, food, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
And fam, second of all. Well, maybe that's the wrong order, but still.
That's the order we usually think in, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Lance, what else do you have that you want to let our listeners know?
With the volunteer aspect, it ain't got to just be Dads on a Mission, man. We got so many organizations out here.
Just as long as people spend your time doing something.
Because the thing is, it's not just with the kids, and adults need help. Like, that's something I realized with that. Like, next year, we're going to start focusing a lot more on the parents. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, last year, I think we focused on the kids, and we're still going to always focus on the kids. But if we fix the kids and they go home and the environment at home is still negative, it's almost like fixing the tire, but the rim's bent. You know what I'm saying? We have to fix it as a whole. So we're going to learn how, I would like to have men's groups with the men's, women's groups coming up soon. Not just with, like I said, Dads on a Mission. It started with us, but it's a whole thing. I almost wish I could call it Family on a Mission.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. So before we go, we always ask our guests to share with the listening audience a book that you have read, are reading, a book that has changed you in some way. What do you got for us?
Okay. I brought 2 books.
Oh, yay.
I got 2.
We love it.
I just finishing reading 8 Conversations to Have with Your Son by John Martin Sr.
8 Conversations to Have with Your Son by John Martin.
Yes.
Senior.
Very, very, senior, because he has a son out here that's doing great things too. Good friend of mine's, but I feel even better author than a friend.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? His words really spoke to me. I love how he kept it compact. Good information for not just me, but my son. I hope he writes one to have with sons to have with their fathers. I hope he does that soon too as well.
Ideas, John. I hope you're watching, because this is lit. This is amazing. I love John Martin's books. He has a series of books. He's quite an author and entrepreneur, and I think the Des Moines community is better off for him being here and pouring his gifts into our community, just like you're doing with your group, with your organization. What's your second book?
Second book is, I love this gentleman.
Oh, you brought the book.
Yeah, I brought the book. I'm reading it actively right now. I just started last night. But just so much information in it for families, relationship goals. And not just relationship with your woman, but just relationships in period. You know what I'm saying? I love his aspect. I love how he incorporates God into it. Like, one of my favorite sayings is, if I can't bring God with me, I ain't going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's me. That's my life. Testimony in itself right there. But Michael Todd, he's one of my favorite online pastors. T.D. Jakes, my first one. I'm sorry, Michael, but Mr. Jakes is one of my present pastor. Shout out to he's also my secretary on my board for Dads on a Mission.
You're talking
Pastor
about
Carter.
Pastor Stephen Carter of Bread of Life Church in Des Moines.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much, Lance, for these book recommendations. We're going to make sure to add those to the show notes. Thank you again for being here.
Oh, man, thank you for having me. I appreciate this. I really needed to get this out because, my last words is, please volunteer. I would like you to volunteer with my organization because I need it, but even if it's not mine, just volunteer. We have so many out here. We have your organization people can volunteer with. We have Hip Hope. We have I think just around the corner is a beautiful school that Will Holmes
starts right here.
Yeah, and also November 13th, he has a book signing coming out for his book Willpower.
Okay.
Definitely go out there, check it out. You know what I'm saying? Read into it, hear his life story. He has a very good one. I'm sorry, I know I'm talking a lot, but
that's all right.
I want to plug people. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing right there. It's just getting people out there, especially reading, because we share that. We share that love.
Absolutely.
We share that love.
Thank you so much, Lance, for being here. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, you have been listening to another wonderful episode of Black and Privileged in America podcast with my wonderful guest, Mr. Lance Williams, who is the founder and president of Dads on a Mission. I think the takeaway today is to spend time and invest time in your community. You can make a difference in your local community, no matter how big or small. So I'm going to encourage you right now to take some time and visit www.dadsonamission.org. Check out all of the amazing opportunities and work that Lance Williams and his team are doing in the local communities, and find a way to get your hands busy at work in your own community. This is Black and Privileged in America podcast. I would like to thank our sponsors, Infinite Resources and Amplified DSM. Please check us out on Facebook, and you'll catch us on Anchor and www.amplifiedsm.com. Thanks for listening. Until next time.
This podcast is brought to you by Infinite Resources, a local staffing agency connecting diverse job candidates and central Iowa companies.
Amplified.